Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So today, as you can see, we've got another little motorbike on the channel today. This is a 1979 Cb100n. It's been sitting about for quite some time. I did get a shot of it a few years ago, put an MOT on it and that, but it's one of these things that just sits about in the shed and you never get around to looking at it. So I thought today, we'll bring it out and we'll have a little play. Right, so it actually looks in not too bad condition. It's not been left to rust and that too much. There is a wee bit of surface rust everywhere you can see. Like on this front mudguard's needing replaced anyway. You can see it's been repaired at some point in its life. But unfortunately I've tried on the usual suspect places to try and source one of these, and they're kind of like rocking horse shit. So I'm probably just going to have to get a universal type front mudguard and try and make it fit. Obviously the bracket there hangs down quite low on the fork, so I'll measure it up and see what I can find online, and I'm just going to replace that. It's a bit of a shame because I think the universal ones don't have this little sort of bracket around the back here, but I'm wondering if I get a universal one, if I get one that drops down low enough at the back, if I can maybe sort of salvage this part and fit it to the universal mudguard. But I mean, that's a long way off. You can also see there that there's quite a bit of corrosion there on the wheels. So I think today, before I try and get this running, I've bought a battery and whatnot for it, and I've got the points and stuff go in this side here. They go in there. I mean, it's not perfect. It needs a lot of work. It needs a lot of tidying up, but everything's there. The stuff that isn't on this at the moment, like the side panel there and everything, obviously that's just been removed so that we can get the battery that was in out. The battery's no way chargeable, so like we've got a new one. But yeah, the points and that's in there, so we've got a new back plate in that as well, because I think we stopped using this because we set up the timing, the back plate was slipping round, knocking the timing off, and then obviously it would just cut out. But we've since found new old stock parts. So yeah, look at the cobwebs on there as well. Yeah, so it would be nice to get this running for the summer. It's needing a couple of tyres, and everything for this is reasonably cheap because it's such a small little bike. So yeah, we'll get tyres and that on it as well, but I'm not going to spend any money on it until we can get it running and see that it's running right. Unfortunately, it's been so long that I'm not even sure that I can remember if this engine was sound. But in the meantime, I've actually built another engine for this that's it's off a Cb100n, or at least the top end is. It's definitely stamped 125, but that won't be a problem anyway. I'll give it a wee bit more power. The chain looks kind of salvageable for the time being. There is a wee bit of surface rust on there and everything, but we'll get it oiled up and everything. See how it looks. The sprockets, the teeth are all good condition. I've checked the front sprocket as well. It looks fairly new. The mileage on the bike, let me just check that. So for such a small bike, it is probably quite high. It's 28,000 miles on this. But given that that's from what did I say this was? 1979. I don't think that's actually too bad. And the seat, usually you'll get the seats all torn up on these old things. This one's actually looking like it's either original or it's been recovered. I'm not entirely sure, but it's certainly got the Honda on the back of it, so that would suggest that it's probably more likely just been a looked after one, and this is an original seat. Or definitely been sourced from a lower mileage bike anyway, because they kind of tend to split along here where you sit your fat arse. But yeah, we'll get a kettle of water. I've got some wire wool, some of the really fine stuff, and hopefully that'll take away some of the surface corrosion that you can see on the exhaust and that. And if not, if I do decide to go full on this bike, the exhaust's the same I'm sure as the Cg125s and stuff like that, so easy enough to find replacements. The frame doesn't look too badly corroded at all. It's actually really solid. The swinging arms tend to rot on these as well. That one looks pretty damn good. Yeah, I think with a little bit of spit and polish, this might come up a treat. So it'll be interesting to see how it looks after a wee clean today. I'll get it looking as tidy as I can before I start working on it anyway. Just to be sure that it's a good one, but it certainly deserves some attention. You know, these things, they used to be picked up fairly cheap. They seem to be increasing in price now. If you look online, I don't know if that's just people being greedy because of the age of them, but you used to pick these up for like scrap value sometimes, and sometimes they were still in good condition. There's a few things that will need changed, like this is the brake light switch here. Obviously that spring just doesn't look right. It's on a little bit of like wire. It's terrible. So yeah, the carburetor, it looks all clean as well, but obviously we'll get the float bowl off of that. We'll get the float bowl off, check the inside of it. Hopefully it's not too tarnished up. But yeah, that's the tyres would have need changed anyway, because you can see, obviously it's no holding air, but you can actually see cracks in it there. I don't know if that's showing up on this camera if I squeeze it down, but yeah, like I said earlier, the tyres are really cheap for this, but the rim itself, it's showing a wee bit of corrosion, and I don't want to go to the expense of like stripping these spokes. I mean, you could cut these spokes out, get stainless spokes, get new rims. I just think, you know, when you start to add it up, is it really worth it? I don't know if these are fetching the asking price that people are asking, but I'll certainly get it looking tidy enough as I can. Get a wee shot on it this summer, have a wee bit of fun. You know, these things are never going to break any land speed records, but it's a wee bit of reminiscing from the old days when you sort of ride things like this, and that was all you could really get. Once you get onto bigger bikes, these times are kind of forgotten until you get to my age and you want to sort of reminisce. So when I was younger, I wasn't on a Cb100, I was on an RD125 with a coffin tank. I think it was a late 70s as well. I can't exactly recall if it was a 77 or whatever, but yeah, it's certainly of the same era anyway. So I'm going to have a wee bit of fun playing about with this anyway. So I'll go and get the hot water basin, and we'll start with a soapy wash before I start trying to get rid of that corrosion there. Right, so I've got a basin of water here just to give it a first wash. I've used Carplan shampoo in this. I used to use Fairy Liquid and that and stuff when I was washing stuff, but it kind of leaves a sort of slimy grime on when it dries in. This is streak-free stuff, so not that it's ready for that yet, but I've got the products, I might as well use them. So we'll get some of the webs and that cleaned off first before we start kind of attacking the surface rust. For the surface rust, I've got this stuff that I ordered online, and it's kind of, I mean, I said earlier on in the video, it's kind of like a wire wheel, but it's so fine. It doesn't actually, it's not so abrasive that it's going to scratch the chrome work that is good. It's just going to be enough to take the wee spots off that are there. So I'll let you see that. I'll take a photo of that and upload it, because I'm sure if other people are in a situation where they're starting to get spots on their chrome, they might not really know what to use. And I've done it before with this stuff. It works really well. So, like I say, we'll just get rid of the cobwebs and that just now anyway. You know, considering the length of time that this bike sat, I'm sure, let me think now, it's probably been in my shed since about 2016. So yeah, fair bit of time. When it was put away, it was obviously, it was in better condition, you know. I wouldn't say it was mint, but it's certainly showing its sort of time of been getting stored. The stanchions here, they look like they'll clean up pretty well, which I'm kind of glad about, because I don't really fancy stripping these wee forks. So, like, the easier this goes on the road, the better, to be honest, because, like, as you know, if you watch the channel, I've got so many projects on the go. The main one actually just now is the Bandit 1200. I don't know if any have watched that. Trying to get the time to get there and sort of tinker with it and create content at the same time. It's just not been happening of late. So I've not made any videos about it, but another one of my toys on the channel is obviously my camper van. So that's my big toy. And yesterday I went out to go a wee run in my van, and unfortunately it broke down. So what it was, the auxiliary belt, has a tensioner on it, and the tensioner, the metal part of it stayed there, but the actual pulley type circle, it's made of like a hard plastic, that disintegrated. Obviously the bearing had collapsed, and it's not a high mileage van, but it is 20 years old, so it is needing stuff done that I haven't done yet, and obviously that was one of the things. So I went to a Motor Factors anyway, and I'd left the van where it broke down, sort of thing, because obviously the auxiliary belt on the van is running the water pump, alternator, power steering, stuff like that, so you don't really want to drive without that being connected. So I left it where it was, and I went and got that tensioner and fitted it, but it's now in the garage for a timing belt and stuff like that, which has freed me up to have some time working on this, obviously. But yeah, I don't know if I'll make a video on that happening. I didn't record much content on that. I wasn't really in the mood, to be honest, as you can imagine. You know, when you break down, the last thing you want to be doing is getting the cameras out. But Connie did do a wee bit of filming, so we'll see what she's got. But in the meantime, like I say, we're just going to concentrate on this wee bike, because the reason for having my channel is I'll always have to be doing something. It's just one of these things. It's the way I am. You know, I don't like to be sitting about doing nothing. So I've always got umpteen projects on the go, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that's kind of like that. It's a characteristic of many men. So yeah, this is just the way it goes. So we'll get this all cleaned up. I'm going to stop the camera and get on with it, because I can't stop talking and nothing seems to get done. So, so this is the wheel stuff that I was talking about so often. It's really fine. You can kind of see that it's no, hopefully it shows up that it's no really super thick stuff. Now, it can kind of be torn apart. Takes a wee bit of strength. You just need to get a wee ball of it there in your hands. Now I used to use polish on it. I'm just going to get a wee bit of wet just to see what happens here. But yeah, you just kind of gently rub the chrome work and take these wee spots off. Right, so I've done this here. Now you can still see the wee black spots kind of in the chrome work there, but given that this is going to be replaced, it was so bad. So you can see there, that's not been done, and that has been done. So obviously the method works. This is probably beyond repair, but I just did that front section from here round just to let you see how nice you can actually get really bad chrome looking again. And for the meantime, you probably get away with that, you know. But yeah, to make it look tidier, it will get replaced. But the surface rust on the like exhaust and whatnot, that'll come up absolutely beautiful. That'll clean right off. So yeah, that was just a wee taster for you there, that front mudguard. I'm actually quite pleased with how that looks. So yeah, we'll crack on and do the rest of the bike. Snap a wee video here showing the dirt and grime on these mirrors. So that's one that I've not done. And then that one there, as you can see, it's absolutely amazing the difference there. Yep, so we're getting on okay with this wee bike. Like, obviously I've just done a wee bit of the front end. But yeah, very pleased with how it's coming up. So this is the wheels here. You can see the difference in that photo. Couple of little photo dumps here. The chain cleaned up quite nicely. So did the rear mudguard there. Right, so the wind's picking up today. I've got a lot done, not as much as I would have liked. I was hoping to get enough done that I could have the whole bike cleaned, start putting the battery in and take it from there. But unfortunately the wind's picking up. I've been out here for a good couple of hours. I'm going to call it a day, and I'll pick up with it for a video part 2. We'll call this part 1. So thanks for watching, we'll end it here, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.